Hello and welcome back to Maria's Animal Shelter. My name is Alex, for those of you who don't know me. Chaos Rock Show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Get my plug in now. I'm with Hannah again, who is going to be talking to us today all about guinea pigs, about diet, about how much we should feed them. Also going to show me some samples of poo.
It's all very exciting.
It's getting a little bit I'm a celeb, get me out of here. But we've got lots of stuff to get through today and show you. So Hannah, where do we begin with everything that you've brought for me to see?
Well, I thought you could feed these guys for us and we can talk it through. So what do you think is the main part of a guinea pig's diet?
Well, I mean, I'm cheating a little bit here because you've brought out an array of things. I'm assuming it's not Quality Street, which you've got on the table, but I'm assuming it's hay and grass.
It is. Do you know why?
Is it because of the roughage by any chance? Is it good for digestion? And
it is. Oh. Yeah, good for gut health. There's another reason that it's really important.
Oh.
I'm being mean, I'm putting you to the test.
Oh, no, I really should have done my research before today. So if it's good for digestion and, I don't know, is it vitamins, nutrients, minerals? No, nothing like that? Is it something like bizarre that I wouldn't really know?
Don't know. Not particularly.
Is it something that like humans eat but not grass and hay? Is there a link there?
Which end does it go in?
Well, it goes in the mouth.
And what have they got to do?
You've got to chew it. So it's good for their teeth.
Yeah.
Right, okay, very good. There we go.
So guinea pigs are rodents, which means their teeth grow constantly. So if they don't have hay and grass, their teeth overgrow. It can grow into their tongue, into their cheek. It can cause all sorts of problems. Yeah. And then it can stop them from eating, and then you basically have a very unhappy, unhealthy guinea pig on your hands, which may actually die. We see a lot of dental problems, and it's purely because people are not feeding enough hay and grass.
Right.
So yeah, 2 reasons: teeth health, gut health.
Yeah, so just keep them filed down naturally then. Yeah. So how much of this would they have to eat a day then to keep? What is the rate of growth we're talking here? If you didn't feed them for a couple of days, would they turn into Dracula or?
Oh, you know, off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a number of millimeters a week, I think.
Wow.
So they grow really quickly.
Yeah.
So what I do know is that if they break a tooth, so if they have an accident and one of their teeth fall out or get cracked and knocked out, they'll regrow a whole incisor within 3 weeks.
Wow.
So that gives you some idea of how quick the growth is.
Yeah.
Because in the wild, they would be eating all of this rough stuff. They need the teeth to grow quickly to basically enable them to keep eating, because otherwise in the wild their teeth would just get ground down to nothing. Really important.
I guess the only equivalent I can think of to that weirdly is like sharks, because their teeth grow really quickly if they go missing. They regenerate their teeth. They don't grow continuously, I don't think, but they do.
They have new ones coming through all the time, and then they fall out. But these guys, they keep their teeth for the whole of their life, but they need to be worn down. So, but all hay is not the same. Okay,
just to make it more complicated.
Just to make it more complicated. So, give that a whiff. What do you think? Nice? Not nice?
I mean, there's not really too much of a smell in there, is there?
Does it smell kind of fragrant, a little bit like grassy, like a sweet
like,
meadow day?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it had just been freshly cut though. I'd say it's been around a little bit.
No, so hay it's dried grass. So it has got that kind of slightly drier smell to it.
Yeah.
But when you open a bag of hay, what we tell people is you should open it and it should smell like, oh yeah, okay, that smells quite nice. So you know, that's nice and fresh. If you smell it and you think, oh, it smells a bit musty, a bit dusty, a bit kind of.
And if it did go.
Yes, we're full of dust. It's not so good. What you're looking for is it to be nice and green. So any kind of hay, it's nice to give them a variety so they can choose from it. But a good quality meadow hay is what you're looking for.
Should it have a certain feel as well then, compared to like very, very dry stuff?
Should be nice and soft. Nice and soft and nice and long. Sometimes you see really short bits that are kind of all like, it's all really, really short and just flaky. That tends to be quite brown and old and not very tasty, basically. Yeah. But longer stuff, greener stuff is really tasty to them. If you've got long brown, the more brown it is, the older it is, the less tasty it is, basically. Yeah. So that's really important.
Okay.
What would...
No, go on.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, like, I'm just curious as to, do you just buy this at the pet store then? Do you just buy grass, or do you have to like run down to the park after the guys just mowed the lawn and
good question.
steal it off the grounds?
If you're going to pick grass for them, you've got to be careful about where you do it.
Yeah.
So you don't want animals to have soiled it. So you've got to be a bit careful with parks because obviously the dogs are weeing on it possibly. Yeah. And you want to make sure that no chemicals have been sprayed on it.
Right.
That's really bad for them. You don't want to be eating that.
Yeah.
So as long as you're happy that it's not been soiled or sprayed with anything, then you can feed it. Okay. But yes, all your local pet store, we sell our own hay as well. So if anybody's in the local area, nice plug for us. We sell it, and yeah, so you can get hay in most places, but just watch for the quality because not all hay is the same. So the more brown, the more short, the more kind of like, it looks. Avoid. Yeah. Go for the longer, fresher, greener, open a bag. Yeah, it smells quite nice.
Okay, so for the best grass, this is the place to come for all your guinea pig needs.
So because hay is so important, you should be feeding it all the time.
Right.
So they should never ever run out of hay. So you can do it in little bags, you can do it in bowls, you can do it in
I do
boxes.
Like the bag you've put this grass in here. It's very nice.
They need loads of it.
Yeah.
So they should always have fresh hay. And what's really important is when you give them some hay, they'll pick through it, and then the next day you'll come to it and you go, oh, they've still got hay left, I don't need to put in any more. Wrong. You do, because what they've done is they've picked all the little strands that they want, like that strand, you could go on forever, and they'll pick the bits they want and they'll leave the rest of it that they'd like, that one's not as tasty.
So those are like the Brussels sprouts of the grass, right?
So even though it looks like they've got some left, you need to give it to them fresh daily because that process will be happening again.
All right.
Make sense?
Yeah, I think I get it now, yeah. So for the teeth, for the gut, we want it soft, green.
Sounds good.
No dog wee or pesticides in it. These guys get the best stuff, don't they?
Yeah, they need it.
This one's he's already going for it.
Yeah, she's doing a great example of eating some grass.
Yeah.
They also find it really tasty. People are worried about them eating the same thing, them getting bored. It's not the case. They absolutely love it. When it's fresh, they should be excited to eat it. You should be seeing them.
I assume there's subtle differences in the flavours of the grass for them as well, is there? Or
can be. I mean, I'm not a guinea pig, but but I would imagine possibly.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So what do you reckon is the next? That should make up about 85% of your diet.
Right.
What do you reckon is the next part of the diet that they should?
I really wish I'd known I was getting a pop quiz today. I would have prepared much better for this. I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing some vegetables here.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming maybe a little bit of that. Yeah?
Nice. So 10% of the diet should be fresh veg. I'm going to be really mean and ask you why.
Is that for vitamins?
It is.
And nutrients, yes.
Yes. Do you know what vitamin guinea pigs cannot make? Which type? It's the same as us.
DLC. Is it DLC?
Actually, it's both, I suppose.
There we go. It's C and D.
Trick question, yeah.
C and D.
So mainly we're talking vitamin C.
Yeah.
So primates and guinea pigs can't make their own vitamin C, which is why they need fresh veg. Otherwise, you get guinea pigs that are deficient in it.
Right.
When they're sick or ill, they also need a booster, just like we do.
Yeah.
So the reason that you've got fresh veg is for your vitamins and your minerals that they can't get elsewhere. So portion size wise, you're looking for a small handful of guinea pigs. So if you're gonna feed Pooh Bear in a minute.
Okay.
So
I'm also going to see Pooh Bear's poo. Is that part of the deal today? Yeah.
In one end, out the other. So you're looking for a small handful of veg per guinea pig per day, rather than a huge mountain. Yeah. If you feed them too much fresh food, or you change the diet too quickly, or you just throw everything at them, they can't regulate themselves. They'll just gorge, and then their stomachs will fill up with gas. That will be super painful. You've got a really sick guinea pig on your hands. Okay. That would actually be a vet visit.
So this is like sugar to them then, is it? Is it like just...
Nice question. These are all your healthy options. So your herbs are your best things, your leafy greens, your peppers are really high in vitamin C's. Sugar, everybody associates rabbits with carrots, right?
Yeah.
Happy rabbit equals carrot. Mm-hmm. Not so much.
Right.
Actually, you want to limit the amount of sugar in the diet. So with carrots, if I was going to give my guinea pig a carrot, it would be a tiny little piece like that.
Right.
Rather than, you shouldn't ever give them a whole huge carrot, way too much sugar in one hit. What you'll see is digestive upset, and it's just not very good for them, exactly the same as us.
So this is dessert then, carrot?
Yeah,
right.
And actually once or twice a week, it shouldn't be an everyday.
Okay.
The dark leafy greens are your way forward,
Right.
and your salad greens. So that's
lovely.
Fresh food.
So we've got another, 5% of the diet left now?
Nice.
Is it just one thing that's 5% of the diet?
It is, yeah. There's no more tricks.
What's 0.5% of the diet? So I'm assuming it's going to be some of these biscuity, dry foods we've got here.
Everybody thinks of this as food. Actually, you're almost like, it's the tiny top up of the diet.
Right.
Your food is your hay and your
Garnish.
grass. Yes, yeah. It's the opposite way round to what we would initially think.
Because you often see people feed, their pets a lot of this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm assuming different pets can have more of this stuff, or is this a general thing?
Rabbits and guinea pigs are the same.
Yeah.
Most small furries are the same. You want to limit portion sizes, and we'll talk about portion sizes in a second. But yeah, it's like us. They can't. Rabbits and guinea pigs will struggle to regulate. They'll just eat it and eat it because it's a higher value, a tastier food.
Yeah.
So if you feed it, you'll just get all sorts of problems with obesity and health problems, and but you'll portion it in a minute. So. Don't know if we can pick that one up on the camera. This is, before we feed the guinea pigs, we're going to feed you.
Amazing. I'll probably...
Out of all of those, pick something you'd like to eat.
It's going to be quite easy for me as a vegan, so I'm probably going to have to take the ultraviolets, I did point them out earlier. Yes, I will take the Parma violet. I don't know why I'm calling it ultraviolets. That's a Clockwork Orange. That's my film side coming out. Parma violets I will take.
So you didn't fancy gnawing on a bit of broccoli?
Well, I mean,
No?
I did have some lettuce in my sandwich earlier, actually.
Okay, well that
I do prefer my broccoli cooked. I don't really like raw broccoli.
But if I gave you that, it's an obvious choice.
It is. And I like that as a metaphor, yes.
So that, to a guinea pig, is exactly the same as that.
Right, so if you sprinkled some of that in amongst your grass and leafy greens, they're just going to go straight for it.
So all of those colourful bits like that look really nice and exciting. And your brown bits, where all your nutrients are, with your healthier bits, they're a lot more boring.
Okay.
So they do exactly the same, and they pick these bits because they're like sweets.
Yeah.
And they taste better because they're full of colorants and all sorts of things, and things that they wouldn't naturally eat in the wild.
Yeah.
And then they still wouldn't eat that in the wild, but the ones with more fibre that are healthier for them, no, don't want you. You don't taste as good. So we always say to people, and you can't, the industry is changing. They are moving away from muesli. You struggle to find muesli in some of the bigger stores, but you do still see it around. Please don't feed your rabbits and your guinea pigs that. Mm-hmm. Actually, you should be going for a nugget-based food that actually, where you can see all of them look pretty much the same. So you've got healthier ones that they're balanced. Each biscuit is more balanced than that, where you've got a variety.
And there definitely has been, because I know from sort of feeding dogs and stuff, it used to be a lot more of the colourful stuff.
Yes.
Whereas it does seem now that they are more brown.
Yeah.
And sort of, I guess this must be the healthier option.
Yeah. They originally did it with the muesli like that because they thought it looks more funky for us. So we're like, oh yeah, we'll buy it because it looks really cool.
Of course.
But actually, it doesn't matter what we think about it.
Yeah.
It's what's healthier for the animals.
Yeah. Great.
So portion size, if you just keep topping up the bowl, they'll just eat and eat and eat.
Yeah.
You get a very fat animal, and then you get problems with teeth because they're not eating as much hay as they should be, because they're eating that as a preference. Their guts won't be as healthy because, again, they've not got the fibre moving through.
Yeah.
You get health problems, sore feet. You actually get behavioural problems as well because they're still not using their time to eat the hay as much as they should. So, yeah, portion size. We have a very funky little cup.
Yeah. How much is in said cup?
About 25-ish grams.
Okay.
You're looking at one of those, an egg cup full, if you like, for one guinea pig per day.
Okay.
So actually, it really is the sprinkling, the garnish.
Yeah. And would you give this to them at the beginning of the day, end of the day? Are they fed once a day, twice a day?
The main thing when you've got guinea pigs at home is to keep them in a routine so that actually then everything's stable for them. Their natural behaviour is more crepuscular, so they're active during the morning, early dawn and dusk.
Yeah.
So you can feed, probably best to go for the morning, but obviously keeping their routine, whatever they're used to, is important. And if you are going to change it, doing it gradually. What you don't want to do is feed last thing at night, because if they're gorging all that, and then that's just sitting in the guts overnight, and that's not great. Just like if we have a huge meal before bed, you don't sleep as well.
I did eat my dinner a bit late last night. I did feel it this morning. Yeah, it wasn't great.
And these guys little and often, so actually they should be eating hay and grass all the time.
Okay.
And then you get your little add-ins of the food and the dry food and your veg.
So I guess, for instance, then if you've given them a top up of the straw or the hay, at the beginning of the day, and then you come back in the evening and find it's halfway down, would you then look to top up?
Definitely.
Because of the fact it's gone down and already picked away there?
It's a really good sign if you actually see your hay going down. That means they're eating it really well. If you are seeing them not touching it, that means you might need to try a different type of hay or make it a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
It might be too old, and actually they're telling you it's not tasty.
Right.
So they're actually telling you something, and you need to make a change rather than just go, you should be eating hay. Some of them struggle if they've got dental problems. So if you've got an animal that has normally eaten hay and suddenly you see a behaviour change, that's something different, and you want to check out the reason why. So yeah, there's some caveats, particularly with medical or dental reasons, but you should be seeing the hay going
down. Yeah, you can't treat them like a kid where you just like eat it.
No,
they are telling you something.
Well, you're responsible for them. They can't leave their enclosure to go and get what they want.
Of course,
you have to give them all the options. So actually, you can put it in bags, sprinkle forage and veg through the hay. So then they've got to eat some hay at the same time.
Awesome,
and you've got to make a change if they're just not eating the hay. We haven't mentioned water.
A very important part of any living thing's routine.
Definitely.
Diet.
We here offer a bottle, but sometimes what you'll see is a guinea pig sort of biting the end, and actually they've got to move a little ball with their tongue to get a tiny bit of water out.
Right.
It's actually quite difficult for them to drink out of those because it's not how they would drink in the wild.
Yeah.
So what you can do is offer both.
Okay.
You've given your animal choice, which actually is a nice thing. We like it when we've got more choice. And the thing is, that's how they would drink in the wild. So they'll drink a lot more like that. Rabbits, I don't know if they've done research on guinea pigs, but rabbits will drink up to 40% more water through a bowl rather than a bottle.
Right.
And obviously that's flushing through the kidneys, flushing through the bladder. That's really good for bladder health, really good for hydration. It's good to have water.
Yeah. So why then would you use the bottle then if it is so difficult for the guinea pig?
Well, they do, because guinea pigs are mucky, they do tend to soil it and get grubby.
Right, okay.
And actually if they do manage to flick that over, suddenly they've got no water. So actually having the backup bottle is really important.
Right.
And you want to look for a bowl that you can't tip over. There are different designs, but something like that, if they stand on the edge, it's a lot easier to flick it over.
Right.
So you want to make sure that whatever you do give them, they can get their heads in, it's not too high, and they're not going to tip it over.
Right.
You do want to wash it every day though. Just give it change it daily, and give it a proper clean, at least once a week, just to stop any bacteria from growing up.
Yeah.
But
Amazing.
Do you fancy feeding some guinea pigs?
I do indeed. Now that I know everything that goes into their diet, I just hope that they're awake, because before we started we noticed that they were quite sleepy.
It's the middle of the day.
So I'm guessing, does food always kind of wake them up, stir them?
It does tend to.
Yeah, it tends to, doesn't it, with animals?
Guinea pigs get very excited.
Fantastic. So who have we got over here then again?
We've got Pooh Bear and Roxy. I think you saw Pooh Bear in his pirate tube the other day.
Yes, he hid away from us as we were coming around with Clover to meet him, but he's in his log cabin.
So you're going to be a bit less scary with some nice vegetables.
I would have thought so, yeah. That's always the way to an animal's hut to lure them out of the log cabin as well, which is a lovely little design there.
Yeah, again, it's just making sure they've got hiding places because then they feel safe.
Yeah.
And if there are no hiding places, no places for them to be, as for a little animal where everything's out to eat you, that's actually quite scary.
And remind us as well, are guinea pigs, like the rabbits, like to be in pairs?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So when you're feeding one guinea pig, you should be feeding two.
Feeding both of them, yeah.
Yeah, so pairs or groups, as long as they're compatible and they're getting along.
Yeah.
What you do sometimes see, and it's worth mentioning, a lot of people obviously, when you've got food, we associate, I need a bowl for food. Just if you've got pairs or groups and you're feeding them, it's always worth watching out for who's doing what, who's not eating. Because it might be that they get along fine and they take it in turns, or it might be that actually you put the food in and you get one animal who kind of protects the bowl and kicks everybody else off it.
Right.
And then you've got a very large pig who's getting a bit more of their share, and then you've got the others that are getting a bit stressed and not getting the food that they need.
Yeah.
So in that situation, you can scatter it, you can sprinkle it in different places, and you can spread it out. And actually, you don't need a bowl.
Absolutely.
But it does make it easier for monitoring where you.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I think before we do go and feed them, I think we will go back to the studio just to give them a couple of songs so they don't have to have me talking for half an hour, 40 minutes straight. So yeah, we'll come back to the studio, a couple of songs, and then when we come back, I'm going to attempt to feed the guinea pigs the full range of diet that they should be having. See you in a few. Welcome back to Maria's Animal Shelter. As you can see, we have a couple of very special friends with us now. We have Pooh Bear and Roxy. Pooh Bear's just already having a little munch here. He's loving life. And Roxy was a little nervous, but she seems to be, she's smelling the food. She's not eating yet, but she probably will in a second. So Hannah, tell us a little bit about what we're going to try and feed them now, are we?
Yeah, so what we've done is we've kind of made the handling experience slightly more positive for them by giving them something really nice and tasty to eat. I made a really scary noise just a minute ago, which is why they're both not eating.
Yeah, they've got a little bit stressed all of a sudden.
Yeah, because we're a happy guinea pig who's nice and relaxed will nibble away, especially if they've got fresh grass in front of them. But when they feel a little bit stressed or when they feel a little bit scared, actually eating's not important, staying alive is important. Yes. So when your guinea pig's not eating in this sort of situation, then it's probably because they're a little bit worried about stuff, but hopefully they'll relax with us in a second.
And you were saying as well, which I think was an important point for people who are bringing their guinea pigs to be seen and sort of looked at, you know, that's a stressful experience for guinea pigs, and so not a great idea to have food with them and drink with them on the journey because they're not going to touch it. Yeah,
it's nice for them to have something to do, but actually just having the hay there, they'll nibble that. Hay is the main part of the diet, so you don't need to. It is stressful moving anywhere, so they don't tend to eat much when they're stressed.
Right.
Or the other really important thing, so I've got some poo to show you in a minute. But when else would a guinea pig not eat?
So when they're stressed, when they're sleeping.
When they're sleeping, okay.
I don't know, when they're mating.
I suppose food's not on their mind, but it wasn't.
Finding all the other times, there's actually more.
When do you not feel very hungry?
After I've ate. I'm 3 for 3 now.
Okay, when you're being sick and you feel a bit grotty and you're like, oh, you're not feeling very well.
Oh yeah.
Is a big roast dinner on your mind?
No, probably not. Probably not. So when they're unwell.
Yeah.
When they're unwell. Okay.
So really important when you've got your guinea pig and you're feeding them is to actually make sure that everybody's eating. Right. If you see a behaviour change, so somebody's eating a bit less, somebody's not eating as much as they used to, or they're taking slower about their food, then actually you should be really worried about that and be treating that as really important. So when a guinea pig is in pain or they're unwell or there's a problem somewhere, and that can be a huge variety of problems, they will go off their food.
Right.
What that does is then it stops the guts, it slows the guts, because obviously they've not got food moving through.
Yeah.
Everything slows down in there, and then actually that causes a lot more pain for them.
Right.
And it can cause gas building up in their stomach.
Yeah.
So the gas is called bloat, and the slowing down of the gut is called gut stasis. Those two things, you can have you can have gut stasis without necessarily having bloat, but either one is a medical emergency.
Okay.
Your guinea pig can die within 24 hours from gut stasis or from bloat. So if you're not seeing any eating, or if you're seeing really tiny poos, obviously the less that's coming out, the less it's going in the front end.
Right.
So the poo tells you about their eating.
Right.
So that tells me actually the guinea pig's not been eating as well as it should do, because it's much smaller in comparison to normal poo, which should be nice, healthy torpedo shapes.
So if your guinea pig isn't pooing out torpedoes, something's wrong.
Yes, and you have to get to the bottom of why, and actually a vet trip is needed at that point, because it could be a huge number of things. But if you don't get to the bottom of why, then the problem's just going to keep happening, and you're going to have a very dangerously sick guinea pig.
Right. And so are these guys pretty healthy at the moment? So I know sometimes in this side of the building, it's because there's something not quite right at the moment. Yeah,
both of these guys have got problems. We're monitoring Pooh Bear. We're still trying to get to the bottom of what's going on for him. Roxy's got some eye problems as well, but generally she's a little bit more, seems a bit more comfortable than him at the moment.
Okay.
Both of you, I've worried you both by dropping a bucket and making a horrible noise.
They have not touched anything since. I don't know if I give it a little rustle maybe. Not doing anything for you?
And grass, again, we've put a small handful in front of them. That's what, there we go.
A little rustle. They're gone again. There you go. They set each other off.
It's because she can probably see him, and she's like, oh,
of course,
if he feels safe enough to eat, then it's probably all right for me to do it too.
And how long have these guys been sort of in the same space together?
Ooh, over a year at least.
So there's quite a bond that's kind of built there between them,
Yeah, because actually, if somebody, that's the thing, if just because one guinea pig is eating, don't assume the other one is too.
Of course.
So the same thing, you can put veg in. If it's all gone, don't assume everything's fine.
Yeah.
Because actually you wanna be keeping an eye on your poo, because that tells you what's going on. And then if you do see small poo and you've got a pair or a group, you want to work out who is pooing out the small poo.
There's a bit of poo just come out of the grass there. So,
Because, in the same enclosure, obviously there's a whole mixture of poo.
Yes.
And we need to work out who it is, because that tells us where the problem is. But if they're going to go to the vets, then actually they both need to go together and stay with their buddy.
Right, okay. So even if one is completely fine, just keep them there for company.
Yeah, it just keeps the bond. It's exactly the same with rabbits. Never split them up if they're together. Right. They always go in pairs. It also helps the sick one, gives them a bit more comfort, a bit more security. It's a tiny bit less stressful if you've got your friend as well.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So they're very much like they love that companionship.
Definitely.
Then. Yeah.
It's how they'd feel safe in the wild. So it's important to make them safe here.
Brilliant.
Thing to mention with grass that we didn't talk about earlier is don't ever do lawnmower clippings. So don't mow your lawn and give them clippings, because it's too compressed and they gorge on it, and that can cause a lot of problems. So just pick your grass by hand, or with a pair of scissors or something, and just offer them to it like that. And
would you set your guinea pig loose in the garden to just go and munch in the garden, or would you avoid that?
It depends. If you've got a secure garden that is completely fenced, there's no holes, cats or birds of prey, or any kind of predator species, if they can't get in, then possibly. And you want to make sure that you've checked your garden for safe plants.
Yeah.
Not all plants are safe for them. There can be a lot of poisonous ones, so you want to make sure that you haven't got problems like that as well. But generally speaking, a secure run attached to their house is the best way forward, because these guys tend to like eating grass at dawn and dusk.
Right.
We just woke them up. Now is their snoozing time. So actually now's not the best time for them to go out, because
it's kind of a midnight snack for
exactly
them at the moment.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't fit with their natural pattern. So having a run attached where they can go out and choose whenever they want grass is the best, rather than relying on us, because we're not always there. We're not always able to pick stuff. We might think, I can't be bothered. Yeah, and then these guys don't get it. So lots to think about.
Yeah. And when we were here before, I think when we saw Clover last week, she was talking about the fact that there's quite a lot of guinea pigs coming in at the moment, I think she said.
Got 10 coming in over the next couple of days.
Wow. So I'm assuming you're also looking for people to come and take the guinea pigs.
Definitely, yeah. And we're always looking for homes, and we can tell you all about diet and care and anything else that people want to know. If you are interested in adopting, give us an email, and we can send you the relevant information sheet and go from there. It's mariasanimalshelter@hotmail.com.
I need to do that, yeah, where you put the magic hands out and then the email comes out between the hands. So yeah, hopefully that will work in the edit. Oh, that's great. So yeah, and have you had many people coming forward lately to home, or is that?
It's been quite slow at the moment. Yeah, we've had a few go out, but it's been a little bit slower on the adoptions than we would like. So yeah, if you know of a home, or even if you can spread the word, you never know, who might be looking. And if there are any experienced owners out there that have had guinea pigs before that know about certain medical problems, we'd love to find some foster homes.
Yeah.
So please get in touch, even if you can only offer a temporary solution, perhaps.
Fantastic. And I'm assuming as well, when people come to adopt, you're looking for them to adopt the pair.
Yes, we will never split them unless unless they're not getting on.
Right.
So yeah, anybody that comes to us as a pair or group stays like that unless they start, unless they're not happy with each other.
Fantastic. Wow. So we've learned what the guinea pigs like to eat. I'm going to go over this. So it was 85% hay.
Yeah, hay/grass.
Hay/grass, and we want that to be sort of green and soft, not too dusty, not too brown. 10% sort of veg to get their vitamin C.
Lovely.
So produce their vitamin C, or vitamin D as well, actually. I also discovered that. About 5% then the biscuits, but we want the brownish coloured ones as opposed to the colourful ones.
Yes, the nuggets, so the muesli, yeah.
And about 0.2% their own poo. That's also going in the diet as well. And don't scare them, because then they won't eat. So that's that. And
if you see small poo or your guinea pig stops eating, then get them to the vet straight away, medical emergency, treat it as really serious. Absolutely. Not, I'll leave it a few days because you might not have a guinea pig after that.
Yeah, because 24 hours you were saying for potentially for the guinea pig.
So because they're so small, it gets worse so much faster.
Right.
And they should have things moving through their guts all the time. They never stop eating. So
well, yeah, no torpedo poo. Get them down to the vets. And yeah, if you do have a home, you are interested in getting a guinea pig, do get in touch with Maria's Animal Shelter, because there are lots of lovely guinea pigs that need a lovely home. Well, thank you again, Hannah, for having us here today and teaching us so much about the guinea pigs. I'm sure we'll be back again soon to learn more. But for now, that's it from Maria's Animal Shelter. We'll leave it there and head back to the studio.